So I'm very pleased to have Mr. Tuan of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development of Vietnam to share a bit of his experience working with his partners, with his colleagues within the different countries, and then also with the different partners here in Japan. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tuan, and I'm from the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development of Vietnam. I'm happy to be here and present what we learned from Japan after 4 days technical deep dive training. So my presentation will have several items like that. The first is very brief on the overview of urban flood in Vietnam. The second is existing institutional framework concerning to the flood management, related ongoing activities, key challenge, and lesson learned from Japan. I don't want to give a lot of word here because some of this picture already show on the internet, and this is the flood in 2008 when in Hanoi we have in two days, and some part of Hanoi, the rainfall is about 500 or 600 millimeters, and it caused a lot of problem in Hanoi. You can see a lot of car and already flooded. That is in Ho Chi Minh City. So some in 2000. That is, yeah, I think in 2013 when the tide come from the sea, and it caused a lot of flooding in this area. Yes, we already the government of Vietnam already issued a number of legal documents, but most of them are regard to the flood management in general. We don't have like a specific integrated framework for flood management in the urban area, and in terms of river basin, many ministries are in the same time managed the river basin. We have the law on natural disaster prevention and control in 2013, where we consider flood is one of the 19 plus disaster type. And in this law, they say when we do the plan or construct or upgrade the urbanization area, we have to think about how to adapt and ensure the disaster characteristic of the area, as well as the disaster protection plan requirement. In 2012, we have the law on water resource, and in this law, they consider flood is one of challenge due to the climate change impact to the country. And in the law, they don't focus directly to the flood in the urban area, but they say most of the construction project must not block the flow and should fit the standard for flood prevention. And also in terms of water conveyance to another basin, the project need to do the assessment if the water conveyance will impact a lot to the urban area. And also in reservoir operation in emergency, they also need to think about if the water floods through the downstream will cause a lot of flood in the downstream habitants area. In 2009, we also have the law on urban planning. So in this law, they refer that the ground, they ensure the ground level for natural disaster. And previous to that, in 2009, the Prime Minister already approved the irrigation master plan until 2012 until 2020, sorry. And the government decided to aim to increase the assurance of drainage protection and prevention that adapt with the climate change and seawater rise. The law on dye management, in this law, the dye protection plan for river with dye construct and management and maintenance that should have the protection area and they have some regulation on the utilization of dike. Some related project that related to the urban flood management. We are in March, and we since 2003 we already approved about 34 irrigation plan or irrigated integrated water utilization or water deployment or water protection plan or water or river basin plan in most of the hills basin in the country. And the Prime Minister already approved 3 regional water plans that refer to the flood protection in Red River Basin, in Mekong Delta, and in the middle of Vietnam. Because that is the inter-provincial plan, so under the authority of Prime Minister to approve. So we last year we have the JAGA project on increasing the natural disaster resilient capacity in the middle region of Vietnam, and one of the outputs of this project is they help the Thừa Thiên Huế provincial to approve the integrated flood management 2020 in Hương River Basin, and based on the law on natural disaster prevention and control, we have some provinces already doing the risk map or flooding map due to the sea water level rise and storm surge. There are some key challenges that we conduct the flood management in the urban area. We lack of consistent coordination between the state agency to conduct the flood integrated management. Between the ministry and localities have not yet led a more strict or effective measure that can cause functions overlapping. We lack a monitoring system, monitoring tool for flood management performance. We also lack of financed mechanism because the state budgets cannot afford, so we need to have more, we need to mobilize more fund for conduct this work. We also lack of the technical guidelines on safety criteria that not yet developed. In urban planning, we lack of integration of new technology in urban water management, or lack of society participation. We also lack of combination between the purpose of natural disaster prevention and control that focus on the urban area, or the key issue facing the new normal and climate change. We also have some problem with the violating a protection dike or dam or lake, or low perception of the people on protecting this kind of works. And we also have the bank erosion problem due to the inappropriate exploitation of rivers, sand exploitation in the riverbed. What did we learn from Japan after 4-day TDD training? Yes, we also conduct integrated water management in river basin, but not really fully approached application. So we think in the future integrated water management in the river basin should be more well application in Vietnam. We think a well-functional command center for flood operational forecasting and early warning system in Japan is a very good example to learn. Apply the new technology, combine the structure and non-structural measurement in disaster management. Apply the model of multi-purpose reduction pond and super lease for levees for the low-lying area for a new urbanization area. Drainage system, including canal and sewer network, must be completed before the development of resident area. We think the well operational and maintenance of the infrastructure work involved in the flood management is also a very good example that we learned from Japan. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that is my presentation. Thank you very much for your understanding.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tuan, and I think it really points to some of the importance of the very good site visits that we were able to do during the course of this, that Mr. Sukagoshi mentioned in his introduction. The super levee at Shinden, the Arakawa Aquas Museum and Control Center, as well as the Koto Control Center, were ones that clearly had quite an interest for all of our clients.